Why haven't many countries been able to develop nuclear weapons to this day? Why is it that so many countries still can't develop nuclear weapons, even though the basic principles have long been public knowledge? What exactly is the bottleneck? Among nearly 200 countries worldwide, only 9 are known to possess nuclear weapons. While the core principle of nuclear weapons lies in heavy nuclear fission, manufacturing an atomic bomb involves numerous hidden boss levels. Uranium enrichment, for instance, is an insurmountable barrier for most countries. In mined uranium ore, uranium-235, which can sustain a chain reaction and is suitable for making bombs, accounts for a mere 0.7%. The remaining 99% is uranium-238, which is of little use for this purpose. To build an atomic bomb, you need to enrich that 0.7% of uranium-235 to over 90%. This process, known as uranium enrichment, is the core of nuclear technology, not to mention the difficulty of uranium enrichment itself. Developing nuclear weapons requires a full industrial chain investment. From uranium mining to the production of weapons-grade nuclear materials, it involves dozens of steps: mining or grinding, leaching, purification, enrichment, processing, and more. It's estimated that for a medium-sized nuclear program, just accumulating enough nuclear material for one atomic bomb costs at least $5 billion. Doesn't even include the subsequent cost of weapon testing and the development of delivery systems, which rules out many small countries with limited economic capabilities. What's more, the technology for purifying uranium-235 is controlled by a handful of enterprises. Typically, there are 2 methods for uranium enrichment: gaseous diffusion and centrifugation. Both rely on the tiny mass difference between uranium-235 and uranium-238, a difference equivalent to 3 Nu. The Manhattan Project used the gaseous diffusion method, which separates uranium-235 through thousands of stages of diffusion membranes. Due to extremely low efficiency, the diffusion plant back then covered an area equivalent to over 40 football fields, with pipelines that could circle the Earth several times and a power consumption comparable to a medium-sized city. Centrifugation, on the other hand, uses high-speed rotating centrifuges spinning at over 100 revolutions per minute separate isotopes. It's 50 times more efficient than gaseous diffusion, but demands extremely high-quality materials and precision manufacturing. At such high speeds, even a tiny, invisible flaw or imbalance in the rotor can cause a catastrophic shock explosion, turning it into an expensive metal firework. You might think that with the technology, you can build it. Think again. You might then think that even if the technology is difficult, money can solve the problem, and you could just buy the equipment and technology. But in 1968, the international community established the most rigorous nuclear non-proliferation regime in history. Currently, 191 countries have signed the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, forming the most stringent anti-nuclear proliferation alliance ever. It curbs nuclear proliferation from legal, technical, and economic perspectives through technological blockades. For example, the Nuclear Suppliers Group controls the global export of nuclear materials, equipment, and technology. Items like centrifuge designs for uranium enrichment and special steel are strictly embargoed. You can't buy the genuine ones even if you have the money. North Korea, for instance, over 20 years smuggling components through Pakistan and nuclear black markets to obtain centrifuge manufacturing technology at a huge cost. Also, economic sanctions. Any country attempting to develop nuclear weapons now faces the harshest sanctions. Iran, for example, has lost over 100 billion to its nuclear program able to sell oil and with its bank accounts frozen. So the current situation is, poor countries can't afford it, rich countries dare not do it, and some countries feel no need to do it. Non-proliferation system built over 70 years, though imperfect, has indeed acted like a huge safety net, keeping the demon of nuclear war in its cage and preventing the global village from easily game over.